All right, so you had a story we're gonna talk about here.
Yeah, man. This is I saw this and I immediately thought of the president's pledge to build back better. Cuz apparently we're building back better.
Well, you saw how he answered the questions in the Robert Hur investigation. I'm not sure he knows what "Build Back Better" means.
It means vroom vroom. That's what it means.
Yes.
This combined with another story, and I don't have it pulled up, but I'll talk about it. There's two stories that I've seen in the last day or two that absolutely frighten me. This one is a big one. Dollar Tree to close nearly 1,000 stores posts a surprising fourth quarter loss. Now I can tell you, Dollar Tree, and I believe they own Dollar General too, right? Is that right?
I'm
Yeah.
not sure.
Oh no, they're the opposite of Dollar General. But Dollar Tree is where people that don't have a ton of money are having to go with the crazy inflation we have right now.
Oh, I used to buy garbage bags there. I used
Yeah.
to buy paper towels. There are all kind of different things there.
Yeah, well, I used to. I mean, I've been there before. I've shopped there before. I've shopped at Dollar General before. Again, I'm not saying anything bad about them, but what I'm saying is, in today's time, 3 years into this lunatic's administration, where the inflation is 20 whatever percent, you got to have these places now for people that can't afford. That can't afford a 20% raise in everything that they buy.
The fucked up thing though is, Chris, is that places like Dollar Tree, where it started out as everything was $1,
Yeah.
and Five Below, where everything was $5 or less. Now all of a sudden, Five Below has stuff like $10,
Sure.
$20, and it's not $1 anymore at Dollar Tree. It's like $1.50, $1.25.
Well, how can it be?
$2. It can't, and so now you're even with the good that store was doing, they can't even do that anymore because of the way
Yeah.
that this buffoon is running the country.
But now think about if you live in a town like what's the most expensive grocery store in our area? Is it
Heinens,
Giant Eagle or Heinen's or one of those?
Heinens, yeah.
So let's say you're in a town, local town, a smaller town, like out in somewhere between here and Columbus somewhere that doesn't have like a big built up city. And you have a Dollar Tree and you have a Heinen's, and that's all you have for like 50 miles or 20 miles even. And now Dollar Tree is going to close. You just got zapped for every small item that you would buy to supplement at Dollar Tree. Your milk cost, just throwing something in general.
Yeah.
They sell milk at Dollar Tree, right?
Yeah.
I believe they do.
They have a cooler section. Yeah.
So it's probably $2 a gallon, right? I have no idea what milk costs, but I'm going to say it's probably like about $2 a gallon.
Yeah,
But
but yeah, probably some.
but if you go to Heinen's, it's probably $3.50 a gallon.
$4, $5.
$4 or $5. So you just went up $3 if you've got kids and you go through 2 gallons of milk a week because you got cereal and whatever that you're doing. You just went up without anything changing. You just went up $6 on one item per week. 4 times 6, $24 a week just in milk or a month.
Yeah.
That's really scary. Not for me and you. I mean, we're doing okay, but I'm saying for people that are struggling right now,
That's a big difference.
That's a huge difference on one item. That's one item, man.
Dollar Tree and Dollar General are absolutely more prevalent in poor, rural, red areas. Our cabin in the Appalachians, and they look. Okay,
Good.
I live in Broadview Heights, which is not exactly a poor neighborhood. Right?
Yeah.
And there's a Dollar General like right down the road from me, and then down the road from that, in fact, in Mario's Barbershop Plaza, there is a Dollar Tree. So it's not just poor neighborhoods that they have them in. But I will say this. I think that in some of those poor neighborhoods where they are at, I think that they may be closing a lot of these stores because of theft. because now people can't
Well,
afford that shit, and they're taking
true, too.
stuff.
That is true too.
And so they're not going to, I mean, what are they going to do? They're going to close. That's why Walgreens is closing a bunch of stores too. Because in some of these poor neighborhoods, Granny, they are stealing everything.
Yeah.
And they can't afford to stay open. Because now in your liberal cities, Granny, you're not allowed to arrest people who are shoplifting. I mean, that's the reality of the situation. And so I'm not blaming the president on that, but I sure as hell am blaming the liberal politicians in some of these cities, that San Francisco, and they are allowing shoplifting. You can't get these people in trouble.
Yeah.
Some of these stores have gone to the point of locking up deodorant because people are stealing everything. And I saw a guy with a fucking blowtorch trying to open up the plastic doors.
At like a Walmart or something. I saw that too at a Walmart.
I mean, and it's not happening in the red areas so much, Granny. It's happening in the blue liberal cities.
Even if it is, forget red or blue for a minute. I'm not trying to make this political.
I know, but still.
I'll keep it as poor. I know Granny brought it into the politics, but I'll keep it as just poor people. Where else would a Dollar Tree thrive? I don't think that the celebrities in Hollywood are running into Dollar Tree to get a gallon of milk.
Beverly Hills does not have Dollar Trees, I guarantee you that.
That's what I'm saying. Of course it's in the poor neighborhoods. That's the whole gist of what they do, is provide cheaper product for poor people. And the fact that this is going on is absolutely frightening to me, because what it's going to do is push a lot more people onto the system.
Without a doubt. But that's their goal.
I know it's their goal.
That is the big government's goal, is to have everybody, taken from them. So you feel you have to rely on the government, and that's how they get you to do things and force things on you and vote for them and everything else.
Yeah. It's absolutely scary, man. This one, and then I'm going to see if I can find it real quick.
I mean, I swear, we used to take our daughter to Five Below because, again, we weren't making a lot of money. And so taking her to Five Below was easy enough to get her like a toy or something like that. And she was happy with it when she was younger, and it was cool. But they've outpriced you now going to Five Below.
Yeah. I mean, it's absolutely frightening, man. That's one thing that's frightening. The other thing that's frightening is, while we were all watching P. Diddy become P. Diddley, the WEF quietly signed some kind of treaty with the WEF to make it a mandatory thing I think by 2026 or 27 or 30 or something like that, to have all cattle has to have tracking devices in them.
Oh boy.
The expense of that is going to absolutely crush cattle farmers.
Well, that's what they want. I mean, the latest.
I know.
They don't want you to eat meat now.
I know. But they are going to. Why are we signing deals with people that are not part of our country? Who the fuck is the WEF? Why do we give a shit what their economics are?
Because this is not. Look, that's why people hate Donald Trump. Well, one of the reasons why they hate Donald Trump, I guarantee you, Granny is one of them that hates Donald Trump because he's a populist. He wants this country to thrive. This group of fucks that's in there now, and people like George Soros and everybody else, these are globalists. That's what they are. We need to kick the United Nations the hell out of this country and not deal with these dumb bastards at all. And we need to get rid of all this globalist crap. I mean, that's, when you get rid of cash, and all of a sudden we're relying on everything that's going to be credit and cards and tracking this and tracking that and the meat thing and everything. It's all a bunch of globalist agenda, and it's going to destroy this republic as we know it.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. And that's what Biden and the people that are controlling Biden want to happen. That's what they want in this country. I don't know why. I haven't figured out their ultimate goal. Put your Salk on, they'll tell you it's the banks that control everything. And I'll tell you that for the 405th time. But I don't know what the ultimate goal here is other than reliance on the government.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's what it is. They want the whole global enslavement thing. That is what they want. You know, they want us to be their peons to bring them their soup when they snap their fingers. You know, get to it, slave.
No, I hate him because he's a billionaire nepotism baby with absolutely only cares about himself. He probably would laugh his ass off seeing poor peasants' Dollar Tree stores close. You want to talk about? I don't know. Granny wants to talk about nepotism. This fucking guy in the White House right now is his son, the one that at least he knows anything about. The coke addict, tax evading douchebag that he is. Talk about nepotism. All right.
Yeah, you're not allowed to talk about that.
The other son, he doesn't even know when he died or how he died or anything else about him.
Vroom, vroom.
Vroom, vroom. Well, you're right. I mean, this is scary stuff, dude. I mean, but this is more of the government control, and that's what's going. That's what's going to happen. You're not going to recognize this country if a Republican doesn't get in this election. You're not going to recognize this country in 4 more years.
Well, I mean, how do you just basic thought? And I know this is going to evade a lot of our left-leaning friends, but basic thought is you're letting in people by the millions and you're reducing the ability to make and afford food.
Yeah.
How the fuck does that work?
I mean, you saw what Tyson Chicken did, right? They fired a whole bunch of American a bunch of illegals in there. I mean, thank God there are places like Angelo's Pizza in Lakewood and stuff that have stopped using Tyson Chicken because these douchebags are doing what they're doing. You see what they're doing in the UK now, which is going to come here.
What's that?
They're forcing old people out of their homes, making them sell them so they can house the migrants that are coming there because they have nowhere to put them anymore.
No thanks.
Can you imagine?
Nope.
Chris, we're like close to. Well, I mean, we're 50s.
Yeah, I'm 55. I'm getting to be old.
Not 50 yet, but I'm getting there. And so, I mean, can you imagine 10 years from now, they were telling us we got to sell our homes, and because the migrants are going to move in, and we live in. They say your house is too big for you and your wife. You need to move. There you go, my friend.
Come on in, migrant. Come on in, migrant. It'll just be.
They're going to take that before we get to that point.
They'll never take that. They'll take the beat of my heart with it because there's no way would I ever give up the gun. No fucking way. I don't give a goddamn what law they pass. I ain't giving up the gun.
If it's starting to happen in the UK, that's going to happen here. We don't have room to put all these people in anymore. Where are we going to put these people?
You ain't put them in my fucking house.
Millions of people in the past 3 years have come over that border. Millions.
Mm-hmm.
Not a couple thousand. Millions. And where the fuck are you going to put these people?
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to arm myself. Because I don't want them coming through my door.
Yeah, I know. I hear you.
But this is all about big government. It's all about big government taking over. I mean, it's all about Biden building a voting block of illegals. It's all about these left-leaning assholes doing what they're doing in this country.
It's all hogwash. Okay. Just remember that, Granny. If it should come, remember that. If it doesn't, and the crack is because we run the commercial for My Patriot Supply on Classic Metal Show and CMS Network. I see what the joke. I mean, I get that. That's fine. But I'll just tell you straight up, the reason that we have that shit is in case something happens. In case the grid goes down. In case they take over the supermarkets. Look at when fucking COVID started and you couldn't buy anything. Remember all the shortages when COVID started?
I remember the convenience store up by my house started giving away just single rolls of toilet paper because they couldn't find anything around. And we're talking about something that, I mean, come on, man.
That's just a tiny example of
what's going to actually happen.
Or what could happen.
Yeah.
So, yeah, me having 6 months of a supply of food and, 10,000 rounds of ammunition. If it's overkill, so what? If it's not, though, who's going to be sorry, me or you?
Yeah. We were talking about that the other day. What would happen? What would you prefer?
Mm-hmm.
Nuclear bomb hits, wipes everybody out in this country.
Okay.
Or the over 300,000 illegal Chinese that are they're coming across the border. Plan a terrorist attack, knock out the grid in this country. So now all of a sudden your phones, your electric, nothing is working. You can't drive your car. The grid is completely down.
I'll take the nuke.
Shut down.
I'll take the nuke.
Because people are going to fucking go crazy.
That's what I'm saying. Dude, what was that show where the grid went down? Was that called Jericho? Is that what that show was?
Might have been.
But I know there's studies out there that, well, look at when we lost power on this side of the country. I know that was like 20 years ago or whatever, but remember when this side of the country lost power for like 3 days or something?
Yeah.
It was like 2 or 3 days. People went fucking bonkers. The first day, everybody was okay. The second day, all the stores were cleaned out of water and generators and batteries. Third day, there was looting all over the fucking place. That's 3 days. What is going to happen if they take out the central grid? Like with a nuke, with like a suitcase nuke or something.
Or one of those EMPs.
Yeah, or an EMP or something.
Yeah.
And like cars don't work and no communication between anybody that you're more than 20 feet away from and everything.
And think about that blackout back then. Back then there weren't smartphones. It wasn't like now people are so reliant on the phone in their hands.
That's right.
Mine hasn't left my side since I started doing the show.
Mine's right here.
And my wife, if she couldn't play Candy Crush, the life might be over. So, I mean, people would freak the fuck out. If your cars ain't working, all of a sudden you're just stuck. And nothing's working. Yeah, I think this country's going to be working all go crazy.
Yeah.
Again, Granny chimes in with something absolutely ridiculous. Global supply chain disruption, COVID, of course, once in a lifetime, 100-year pandemic. I hate to tell you, no, that wasn't a 100-year pandemic. One, that was a released virus because by Dr. Fauci and his mess of people. But that was a trial. That was a trial to see what this government could do to the people of this country. And tell you what, man, obeyed.
Yeah, my whole thing is I don't have to teach Granny that she's a fucking idiot. She knows.
Yeah.
I don't have to react to all every little dumb comment. She knows.
I mean, I would take the nuke over that kind of thing also.
Yeah, me too.
I know it's a fucking stupid TV show, but watching like Walking Dead, dude, and all of a sudden, right, nothing going on in this country because everything's wiped out. I can't imagine living like that. Forget about zombies. I'm not talking about zombies. I'm talking about the way that people tribe together and start protecting themselves and that what they would do for food or anything. It would be a nightmare beyond belief.
Well, think about it in even the smallest term, dude. Would you know and trust your neighbors in your own neighborhood enough to tribe together to save your life?
No.
Me either. And I've lived here 20 fucking years. I would trust my neighbors, my two neighbors across the street and my neighbor next door. So that's like three people.
Look, if something like that happens, it becomes every man for themselves.
Yeah. I mean, but that's just the smallest thing. That's to be feeling safe that you can sleep at night in your own house.
Even during COVID, I saw people fighting over fucking toilet paper and paper towels.
Exactly.
Like that. So, yeah. No, if something big happens, forget about it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I stay armed and that's why I stay vigilant with, having a food supply and whatever. And if I'm wrong, so look, if the worst thing that happens is I'm wrong, then my kids inherit a bunch of useless shit.
But I don't think you're wrong anymore. I don't think you're wrong anymore. And Bob said this morning he doesn't want to turn it into like, I'm not calling for people to arm themselves and get on the streets and start fighting in the streets. But I'm not either, but is it getting close to that? I think it's getting closer than we've ever been.
I don't think anybody's calling for it, but God help you if you're not ready for it. That's what I'm saying.
I don't feel like I'm ready for it at all. Yeah. And I think, I got a message from, said the other day from, a guy that we know, said the rapture is coming. Be prepared. I'm not ready for us, again, for neighbors attacking, much less the end of the world. But I think it's coming. I think there's going to be a time very soon.
It could happen.
When I say very soon, I would say in the next few years. Where
it could happen.
Shit is going to hit the fan, and we're going to see fighting in the streets. Bigger than these stupid-ass riots over George Floyd and everything, I think we're going to see some real shit hit the fan.
You mean the hero George Floyd? Get it right.
Sorry. I apologize. Not the drug-using criminal George Floyd.
Hero.
The guy that deserves a statue.
Hero.
You saw what they want to do now, right?
Can you not say hero, George Floyd?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said. Did you see what they want to do now? You know, the Francis Scott Key Bridge that was hit by that barge. Allegedly, accidentally. Now people are calling for it to be renamed because they said Francis Scott Key, the national anthem, all racist and needs to be renamed. I mean, you know that fucking thing's going to be called the George Floyd Memorial Bridge or some shit.
I'm for that. Why not? Randy's just a hateful cunt.
Why? I don't understand the hate.
Just everything. Somebody threw up something that has nothing to do with nothing. M3 Festival. Oh, it's just an old fart festival.
I don't even know what that is. So.
It is an old fart festival, but Jesus Christ. It's the only thing Maryland has going for it these days. It's the M3. It's like 50 80s bands get together over 2 days and play.
They have the Ravens. I think are going to suck this year.
They might. Who knows? There's not much to... I mean, really, what are you bragging about in Maryland?
I've never been there. Is it nice? Is it pretty? Have you ever been to Maryland?
I've been there back before it became a crime-infested shithole. So that's a long time ago. That's like 35, 40 years ago.
I was in Baltimore, so it was about 2 weeks before I got sick and actually lost my leg.
Right.
So we're down in Savannah, Georgia, visiting my dad and stuff, and we were flying back up, and we had to stop in Baltimore. And all of a sudden, our flight got fucking canceled again, so we were literally stuck for hours upon hours in the airport waiting for another flight. Mm-hmm. And I remember 2 people from the airport, I asked them a question about, hey, is there anywhere we could go or anything like that? They said, no. It's late. It's dark. Do not go out on the streets.
Right.
And I said, are you fucking serious? Like, it was me, my wife, and my daughter. And I said, do not go outside of this airport.
Oh, boy.
I was like, it's that bad? They're like, yes, it's that bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Would you ever watch?
We would take a cab or an Uber, go get something to eat or something. They're like,
nope.
No.
Yeah. Why don't you try the Sbarro over by gate 13?
Right.
Well, dude, do you remember the TV show Homicide: Life on the Street?
Yes.
That was about Baltimore. And that was, from what I understand, pretty accurate. Yeah, the only time I ever went to Baltimore was I went to Ocean City on a family vacation, and I met Jim Palmer, which was actually pretty cool.
That's cool.
That was pretty solid. Met Jim Palmer at a auction or something, like not an auction, but what is that called? Like a flea market.
All right.
We ended up going to some flea market, and I was standing next to a guy, and I went to grab a whatever to look at it, and the other guy grabbed at the same time. It was fucking Jim Palmer. So that big old World Series ring on his hand. I was like, holy shit, Jim Palmer. I was like 10 or whatever, but I was like, oh, Mr. Palmer. I was all, oh, Mr. Palmer, can you sign my shirt? I had him sign my shirt.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I'm still waiting for the end of the world.
Well, it's coming.
Sooner than later, I believe.
That could be. That's why you just make sure you've done everything you wanted to do.
Well, I haven't, and that's pretty fucked up.
What do you got left? What is it that you truly want to and think you can accomplish that you have not accomplished?
Accomplish or do? I mean,
do.
Well, I mean, do is a lot different. Do I want to go to I want to go to Disney World and see that Star Wars. That whole big Star Wars land that they have down there, and whether it's Hollywood Studios or whatever it is.
Okay.
I can't remember what the name of it is.
Yeah, I don't know.
But where they have all those Star Wars rides, I have to do that before I die. I'm a huge Star Wars fan, dude.
Well, go do it. What's stopping you?
It's like $5,000 to just take a trip to Disney. I don't have that kind of cash.
Take a nice drive.
I need to get like a home equity loan and just use it all to go on a trip somewhere. But
take a nice drive down there.
So there's stuff like that. I mean, there's also, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's places to eat that I want to eat. I'm sure there's tons of stuff that I'd like to do before the end of the world.
I'm talking big picture stuff, dude.
All right, big picture stuff.
Bucket list stuff.
Bucket list stuff. I'd like to have a job, like accept a job, whether it's this podcast or in radio, that actually pays me what I think that at least I've been worth a little bit of over the past 25 years of doing my job. Because I don't think that I've been paid fair in the 25 years of doing what I do. And I'd like to accept a job that I feel like somebody's saying, hey, your hard work is paying off and you deserve this.
Well, just move to California. You start at $20 an hour just for showing up.
I can flip fucking burgers and make more than I have in radio.
That's what I'm saying. Go out to California. Didn't they just pass $20 an hour?
Yes, $20 an hour. But
so I think if you have like a senior level radio producer job, that's got to be worth $1,000 an hour out there.
I mean, because I would love to say stupid shit like win the lottery, but I mean, that's not like a bucket list thing. I can't really just make that happen.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's certain things that I would like to accomplish, though. Is there anything that you would like to accomplish, or you've pretty much hit your peak?
Done. I'm done. I'm coasting. Dude, I've done everything that I would want to do. I've built businesses. I've built radio shows. I built a TV station. I built a radio station. I've been on commercial radio. I've been on the internet. I've written books. Dude, I've traveled the world. I've been to over 30 countries. I don't have nothing left. I mean, there's nothing that's sitting out there and I'm like, oh man, I gotta do this before I die.
I've never traveled the world. The furthest I've been outside of this country is the Dominican Republic, which was great because it was like basically a free trip. But I mean, not really exotic place to be. And like Quebec, I mean, it's like, like I would love to travel overseas and see some cool shit.
It ain't
like
all
I would
that.
love to like. I gotta forget the fact that I'm married, like, because if I'm gonna go all out on my bucket list stuff, I gotta forget the fact that I'm married and just travel the country or travel the world and go to weird shit like Thailand and stuff like that, dude. Like I want to go all over the place and just see weird shit and fun shit and just go crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, if I had, of course, I love my family, so I wouldn't do that kind of thing. But if things were different, I'd be coked out of my head. Hookers and blow everywhere all across the world, and eat whatever the hell I want, and know that, hey, I can. It doesn't matter if I have a heart attack because the world's going to end in like 3 days, anyways.
Yeah, well, I walked that life for 2 years in Korea, and it's fun. I ain't gonna lie, it's the most fun time I ever had in my life. But I don't think I could do it today. I just don't think I got the juice to do it anymore.
But if I, with things the way that they are now, because I do love my wife and my daughter and everything else, I would like to at least travel somewhere with them and like a nice long cruise down the Nile or something cool. I don't know, something fun.
No, I don't know. I'm pretty well good. If the meteor hits today, I'm all right. Cool. I'm gonna watch it come. I'm gonna be like Tia Leone and her dad on the beach, watching the fucking 3,000-foot tall wave just knock me into a million pieces.
So, do you think the end of the world is going to come via politicians and people like Biden, or do you think it's going to be a natural disaster?
Probably natural disaster. I think in general, people always tend to rise up on some level, when it gets too out of hand. And I don't think we're quite there yet. I think we're close, but I think at some point you're going to see a fucking uprising.
But
it's not going to start here, though. It's not going to... See, this is the thing. Because we live here, we think it's going to start here. It ain't going to start here. It's going to start in places that are really fucking oppressed. It's going to start in fucking China or, because say what you want about China and, their ability to, mass people or whatever. If their people ever turn against their government, it's over because they just have so many fucking people.
But do you think we get dragged into it and that would end up causing our demise?
But I think that would be the turn. I don't think in today's world, I don't think you got enough people in the United States that would fight another war. Everybody, and I'm going to say this and it's going to sound weird, but let me explain it. Everybody is fine with Biden throwing money at the Ukraine. as long as it means that we don't have to go to the Ukraine. You know what I mean? But if we had to actually go, if they came to us today and said, well, you guys got to go to the Ukraine and defend the Ukraine against Russia, we ain't doing it.
No, but I'm saying if China invades, Taiwan, and all of a sudden there's a conflict over there that maybe we get drawn into because we're not supporting China, and all of a sudden we have a big world war going on, I think that could cause something. But as far as I don't see the American people rising up against their own government, I don't think that could ever happen. I mean, Biden's already said, we have planes and bombs. What are you going to do with your guns at home?
But I think if they started launching those planes and bombs, you'd find out just how fucking vicious we can be. And in our core, we're just animals.
I would like to think that, but I think there's a lot of fucking soccer moms out there and people that are not going to be rising up against anything.
Look,
hunkering down in our homes and wondering, hoping for the best.
In the world we're in today's world, I certainly do not believe in any being at all that I could kill anybody. But if there were literally bombs blowing up and attacking at my family and stuff, I wouldn't hesitate to take a razor against 1,000 people's necks, or a knife or a gun or whatever. It just depends on the circumstance that you're in. You're basing what you feel based on what you see. And right now you see a bunch of pussies. Yeah. But let some of these pussies get their fucking family raped and killed or whatever. And I think you see a different side of those people.
I'm not sure though. I mean, when you see with the youth of today and what's walking out there on the streets and this Gen Z, a bunch of pussies and stuff, I'm not sure that we have the balls anymore as a people to stand up and fight. It's not the World War II greatest generation that's going to be fighting that war, man. It's going to be the guys you see in June on their parade floats with dog collars and feathers out their ass that are going to be trying to fight, and I don't think that's going to happen.
But I don't think that the old guard is just going to sit there and take it. The old guard will step up, even knowing that it's going to cost them their life. They'd step up. The ones that are armed. That's what I think. I think you'd see a lot of dead Zims on the streets with American bullets shooting American Z's or Zers or whatever they're called.
Yeah, I don't know what they are anymore.
Yeah. Don't know, don't care.
That's what we should have, like, on our when we have our names up on the screen for our show. We should have our pronouns.
Yeah, no. My pronouns are fucking you. I think I actually have that on my Facebook page. I'm pretty sure that I do have my pronouns as fucking you on my Facebook page.
All right. Well, I see. It's been a fairly depressing couple of.
It has been. We've been pretty gnarly today.
Other than Mario, it's been kind of we did our part with charity, so we did. That was a good thing. Yeah. And now we're gonna, I guess, take in a different direction once again and be happy.
Yeah.
We have Tony Masaccio, right? So I'm gonna play this little commercial.
Yeah, and Tony, turn your phone.
Maybe he wants to show us something. So.
Yeah, he showed it to us sideways.
Oh, yeah. Turn your phone. We'll play this commercial.
There you go. All right.
All right.
All right.
Hang on.